Hi, my name's Katie and welcome to my channel. I am very lucky to be visiting in Toronto, Canada, the most amazing African cichlid store I have ever seen in my life. We've got Johnny here as well. Sorry, I almost didn't introduce you. We've got Johnny. And do you work at the store?
Yes, I work here.
And are you working today or are you just in here?
I was working today.
You were?
And I'm doing extra hours now.
Yes, but Johnny is being kind enough to give us a tour around the store outside of his work hours. Do you know how many tanks of African cichlids there are here?
African cichlids? Let's say maybe 100.
There is so many and they're huge as well. There's heaps of Malawi cichlids, there's heaps of Tanganyikan ones. You were in for a treat with this video. Let's start with this tank maybe.
This would be our centerpiece. And I guess, you know, when you first walk in the store, this is what you're going to see. So we have a colony of the Moba Frontosas there, which go for a pretty penny, that's for sure. Hard to breed. They held like multiples a couple of times here. So I guess they're like our breeding group. And then we have the star sapphires or the Finatics there. So these are all the females here, all the drab looking ones.
So this is a group of females here and then that is a beautiful male. So that's why they call them star sapphire cichlids, because they get those beautiful colors on them. Or they're also called like, is it a mirror ball cichlid?
I believe that's the one,
Looks so nice and natural, and I guess you get the sunlight as well coming in.
Oh yeah.
And when it's a peninsula tank like this, we can see straight through it. Really helps to light it up. So they're all haps in here. And we've got a Venestus as well, a giraffe cichlid. He's beautiful, he's so huge. Let's head to the other display tank at the back.
So before we see the sales tanks, might as well look at all the display tanks first.
So the bathroom is next to it and I had to stop and I had to just admire this tank. So here we've got another Lake Malawi tank, but we've got some Mbuna in this one. And we've also got some haps too. We've got the white lip.
Yeah, white lip Mdokas, same family as the star sapphires.
Right.
So very popular fish right now. Anything in the Placidochromis like a genus is very popular right now.
I love them. And these guys are pretty slow growing as well, right?
Yes, so that's why they're worth a lot more. The star sapphire that you saw, the big male, they're about 200 or 250. And then these guys, they'll probably go for about 90 to 100.
And what's the background that you've got on here?
So this is a 3D background. I believe the company is Aqua Decor. It's actually better for them because they feel more comfortable. It's like they're in their natural environment. And you don't have to put so much stress on the tank by putting hundreds of pounds of rocks in there, right?
Because it's just foam, so it's not as heavy.
Exactly.
Like, can you imagine if that was actual rock?
No, I would not trust it, especially if this is in your living room or something. Nope.
It is so unfair. I wish that I could just pick these fish out and take them home with me on the plane.
But we usually try to do like Mbuna, peacocks in an area, but we just get so many that they just end up getting thrown around everywhere. As you can see, yellow labs are one of the most popular.
And what's cool about them is it doesn't matter if they're male or female, they're always going to be a nice bright color.
You get that poor man's saltwater tank. Right away when customers come in, they just hone in on the yellow labs. And the peacocks and the haps, which will look beautiful later, but when they're juveniles, you can see they look, so these are the star sapphires. So you see how they look here. They're not going to win a beauty contest like this.
No.
So you have to explain to the customers, and we have the picture there, how they're going to look like when they grow up.
That's what they look like, but it takes them a few years, doesn't it, to get to that.
So you see, at this size, they're $20. You have the patience to grow them up for 8 months to a year, and then you get a nice adult like show male, as opposed to buying the show male at $150. Patience is a virtue when you're keeping African cichlids. So these are actually Placidochromis giselle, so same family as the star sapphires and the white lips, and they get more of a greenish, kind of a greenish, like purplish like body. But you can see the males even at that size, they're only like 2.5 inches.
It's starting to get some color.
The black face and or the bluish face, the emerald face like that.
And then these are a personal favorite of mine. You get down on the ground to see these guys. I love these little scraper mouth and Mbuna.
The females have just as nice colors as well.
There's another one that is very similar, a Fulborni, I think.
Yeah, the Fulborni.
Yeah, I've got one called Bart, but he doesn't have the colors like this. I really like these,
and they get bigger. So a lot of the Tribovaceae are, I guess, more practical because they can get like 6 to 7 inches versus the Fulborni can get up to 9 or 10.
And then we've got a couple of different ones down here.
Here's kind of a mixed bag tank. So here we got Pseudotropis pseudotropis, probably my favorite African cichlid.
Oh, really?
Because the female gets a nice orangey red color. As you can see in the picture, we don't have any females because they sell really quick. So the male kind of looks like a Demensoni, which we'll see on the other side, but the aggression is cut in half. The light one, that is actually a white lab. So the white version of the yellow labs.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
How cool.
A Protomalis attenuatus, which is a red empress. So that's his female there.
Sometimes the males get very colourful, but the females not so much.
No,
like, you compare.
So most people that do the haps and peacocks, they do like show male tanks.
Yeah.
Unless if you're into breeding, because otherwise then if you're just going to get a whole bunch of males and females, they're going to interbreed.
I don't know what your thoughts are on colour feeding.
On color feeding?
Yeah.
I've seen it, like, I've seen some that would come in and the females are actually not like fully like male-like colors, but they're showing some.
Yeah.
And they actually hold it for a bit, but then they do like tend to fade after.
Like you have to keep feeding them, hey?
Yeah, sunshine peacocks.
Oh yes, they're beautiful.
Scattered all around.
Very nice. It looks like you guys have a lot of different sizes of the yellow labs as well. Like I'm seeing all the yellow throughout here.
Some people, they don't want to wait for them to grow up, so it's like they want that instant gratification, that instant breeding. So we have them all the way to adults, which you'll see. These are like sub-adults here.
Yeah, and then these ones are a fair bit bigger. And so what does F1 mean?
So F1 means it's the first like generation of the like wild caught stock. So the wild caught ones had babies, and then these are the offspring from them.
And these
So
are
first generation. We have some Luanda peacocks, which are gorgeous. These are my favorite peacocks. They are aggressive.
Gorgeous.
If you check here, you have some breeding happening. Blue Rigo peacocks. So they are mouth brooders. So right now she's sorting the eggs in her mouth, and the male is saying, stay away from us. So he'll put his anal fin on the side or like along the rock, and there's usually egg spots on it, so she tries to pick up the eggs. That's when he releases his progeny in there.
Cichlids are good parents because they look after their fry really well, don't they?
Well, she will.
She will.
Once he's done, he's off to look for others. These ones aren't monogamous, like the South American ones. So he'll do his thing, and then she'll hold on to the babies for about 18 to 25 days. So when she spits them out, they're fully formed, and they're ready like to be fed, like, you know, like French flakes and baby brine shrimp. So very easy to breed and very easy to raise, that's for sure.
Do you guys have any wild caught ones?
Right now, I don't think so. It's hard to get wild caught right now because they've shut down a lot of the portions of the lake. Again, don't quote me on this, but I think they're letting the stocks in the lake like build up a bit more, and then they'll start to collect again.
And then what do we have in here? Anything interesting that we have?
So we have green Lephrinops.
Okay.
So that's how the male will look like. So these are the juvies. So again, easier on the pocketbook where you can buy them as the juveniles, and literally within 2 to 3 months, they'll start showing really nice adult colorations. Here's one here that's showing some. And rule of thumb, if you look at the bottom anal fin, you start seeing some yellow spots, that's going to be a boy. And then we have the blue neon peacocks here. Males are starting to show the color.
Oh, yes.
Not at its full like pinnacle yet. And the same thing as the Afras. They're not, I guess they're in like feeding mode right now, so they're not showing their best color, but when these males color up, they are stunning. They're like a bright baby blue with black stripes, so kind of like a blue zebra.
Look at this chunky yellow lab.
Yeah, so that's one of the big boys. He's like a little football. And then there we have the the Protomalis stevenae, the Taiwan reefs. Beautiful boys over there.
Wow, I love the stripes.
And the nice thing with this one is if you see the females, they're not as bad looking as the other haps, so you still get some patterning. So that's a sought after fish to have as a group.
That's nice. Kind of like the Venestas, like they've still got nice giraffe patterns.
Yes.
Yeah, not as pretty as the males, the females, but still pretty nice.
Yep. So these are the red shoulders. Top sellers because they're not as aggressive, so similar to the Mabenji blues you saw there, but they get a red shoulder with all the blue. See this yellow lab here? She got a mouthful of babies.
She does. That's cool. See if we can see the babies. Look at her big mouth.
Cool thing with yellow labs is the female is just as nice as the male. The males get the black like rimming in the fins. So these are 2 dominant males here, and there's females.
These guys are gorgeous. Wow, I don't think I've seen these.
So there's some rare stuff here. We have the Trophiops sp mauve, which will probably change its name soon. So these are the males. So the males have the
that's what they are.
The orange face like that with the purplish body.
Nice.
Which is maybe why they call it mauve, which is kind of like a.
And then the Jalo Reef. I used to have one of them.
Gorgeous fish, yeah.
I had one and it jumped out of the tank.
That's nice.
It was a beautiful male.
It happens, but yeah, it's.
Yeah, he was one of my most beautiful fish.
Yeah.
He took a while to grow, but then once he started growing, he really sped up and got really colourful.
Yeah, and they're usually a little calmer. So if you put them in a tank with like more like aggressive fish or like more boisterous like haps, then they usually don't want to show their colors.
Oh, I see. Oh, and then are these the rusty cichlids in here? Yeah.
So the cool thing with the rusties is they are one of the calmer Mabuna. So you can actually get away with mixing them with haps and peacocks.
Yes.
So kind of like the yellowtail like ACI, which you'll see, and the yellow labs, or the gold form of the Taiwan reef.
I didn't know they came in albino.
Yeah.
Nice.
I wouldn't say it's albino because they don't really have the red eye. I think it's just a gold variety. But so here you have something cool. So the Pisidochromis Giallo reef that you saw, that's the OB form.
No way.
Yeah.
They come in OB.
I never even knew these existed until a few months ago. So the little baits are the bigger ones there.
Oh yeah, there we
so
go.
you can see that sulfur crest forming.
That is gorgeous.
The Bellman boy there. And then there's more Afras here. Because I guess you can see which ones are the most popular. Yellow labs, Afras, the Taiwan reefs, peacocks.
Probably makes a big difference at your store just that you guys have the photos of what they grow into.
Yes.
Because I think that's kind of missing at some of our local stores in Australia. You know, people don't buy those haps as commonly because they don't realize.
Well, especially for people who are first getting into African cichlids. It's hard to believe that little gray fish is going to grow up into this, stunning male. But you explain to them when they're young, they're not going to want to show their colors because they don't get eaten, right?
Yeah.
When the fish is bigger, like 6 inches, he can afford to show his color because there's less predators. These aren't like wild fish, obviously. These are the solar flare or the dragon blood peacocks and the OB peacocks.
OB stands for orange blotch.
Orange blotch. So they are peacocks, but they got the genes of the Mabunas, which is the orange blotch zebras, to get them like this.
Oh, that's how they're formed. Wait, so Mbuna will breed with peacock cichlids?
I believe it's lab-like created.
It's artificial.
Yeah,
I didn't know
it was
that.
artificially done like that.
How cool.
So when someone gets an OB peacock and they're like, it's destroying all my haps and peacocks, what's going on? Because they got a little bit of like Mabuna gene.
Every OB I've had has died.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's something to do with sometimes I find they're weaker if they've been modified.
Could be that,
way.
yeah. I mean, they should be strong now because they've been in the hobby for a while. But they're usually more aggressive than the regular peacocks, that's for sure.
Interesting. Maybe they're picking fights and losing the fights.
Could be. Could be they're the jerks that are starting all the fights.
and then getting beat up.
And then at nighttime, like, okay, let's just like take this guy out because he's just, like ruining all the harmony. So the cool thing with the OBs is that because they have such mixed like genes from all the OBs or the orange blotch like zebras, you get some that are more orange, some that are more red, some that are more, and this one here, this would be like the blueberry look or like wild berry. So it's more of the blues and pinks and purples on this guy.
Kind of like finding a shiny Pokemon with these guys.
Yeah.
Every now and then you get a really cool colored
Exactly.
OB one.
So these guys here are a little smaller, and I guess the quality is still good. So right, they're still like a $70 fish, but this guy here, these are going to be in the $100 range. Grading is higher, yeah.
They're gorgeous. What's that blue guy?
This is a Protomalus tennialatus. So you saw the one there that was the, what's it called there? The Red Empress.
Oh,
This
yes.
is like the blue form of it.
Gorgeous.
They call it like fire blue. It's another rare fish, so. This is still the Malawi section, but we get a lot of like Frontosa sometimes.
He's got like a little wart on his mouth.
So they mix well with the haps and peacocks.
Ones like that have the albino in them and they've got like the red eyes. I have one and I'm pretty sure it's blind.
So albinos are pretty much blind fish. So if you're gonna put them in your show tank, you want to make sure that you're spot feeding, you want to make sure that they're getting food, and you want to make sure they're not getting picked on too much, because the other fish they can sense that, he's blind, so he'll be on the, bottom end of the pecking order.
Well, this one's got some sass. My one's very submissive.
How's it going, man? First, here's a beautiful fish. So we got the Lethrinops species gold from what's called their Monkey Bay in Lake Malawi.
Which one is that?
That would be this guy. So he's like the what's called there. He's like the Giallo reef, except he's from like Monkey Bay, a very rare fish.
But that's still the same lake. But
yes, still same lake. It's just amazing how like Lake Malawi, you have about 500 to 600 species of fish, just because they're from one reef to another, and it's a totally different species, and they never cross each other's paths.
You guys have those little catfish that you can keep.
Yeah, so these are actually from Lake Tanganyika, I believe. They're called cuckoo cats because they'll go in and they'll eat the eggs of the mouth-breeding cichlids, and they'll lay their own eggs. So that then the like mother fish will pick up her eggs or their eggs, and then raise them as their own.
Oh, they're so cheeky.
So it's cheeky and it's lazy, I guess, but it's an adaptation.
There's more African cichlids.
So
It keeps
more
going.
Malawi, it keeps going. here, I guess we start up here, the ones you were talking about, the electric blues.
Oh, there they are, yay.
And then we have the OB ones as well.
You have OB electric
They're
blues.
OBing everything now, let's put it that way. Then there's even the white knight Happilies, which is...
Oh yes, I have one of those.
Yeah, so there's a nice male forming there. Here's the little jerks we were talking about. There's the Masonite.
That's those guys. Yeah, they're a little bit smaller, hey, but like very bright. Like they really pop.
Very aggressive. I've had them in one of my tanks before. A 3.5-inch big dominant male was chasing a Venustus around the whole tank.
Gosh,
they have a lot of attitude.
Fiery. And what are the white guys?
So these are the white knights.
They are the white knights. Nice.
Another thing with the Masonite, I was only successful, like you see with a lot of these, you know, like you buy trios, one male and two females. With these guys, you got to get a group of at least 12. That's how I found. Like you need a colony of them. If you want one that looks like the Masonite without the aggression, you get the Solosi.
Gotcha.
These ones, the females look just as the same, but more drab. The Kenyai though here, another Mbuna, the male is the opposite. So the male is the yellow one, the female is the blue.
That's cool.
Beautiful fish, but they have a bit of an attitude as well. So rule of thumb, when you see a male already like coloring up at 1.5 inches, as long as he wasn't hormone like induced, then you know that's a good gene.
Yeah, you know he's going to be beautiful. There you go. If you live nearby and you're watching this video, you know where to find all the best fish. Oh yeah, I can really see that's an OB hap. Like
yeah, so that's an OB electric blue actually. And then here, so there's the white knight. Those are males
yeah,
there.
a little bit bigger.
And here's the cousin of the Venustus that we've been talking about.
Oh, it's this one here.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we got the Pseudochromis, what's called the Electra, which is like the star sapphire that you saw, and like the white lips, that they get more of a purplish, you know, lighter, like metallic sheen next to them.
Now we're starting just to see a bit of a mix in the tanks of ones that we've looked at. I don't think we haven't looked at the ruby red peacocks.
Yeah, so these are the ruby reds or German reds, whatever you want to call them. The cobalt blue cichlid. Nuts. You know what? Like I don't find them so like aggressive.
No, they're not too bad. I've got one of them, and I think it's nicer than my red zebra.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing with them is that, see, that's a female there. The females are just as nice as the male, just not as intensely blue. I mean, these things, they can get like anywhere from, I think, 4 or 5 inches in the lakes, but in captivity, because we love them too much, we overfeed them. So they can get like 7-8 inches.
Oh my gosh.
In captivity, right? But rule of thumb is you don't want to overfeed them, you want to keep them at that 4 to 6 inch range, you know? So if you're first starting out in cichlids and you're like, you know, where do I start? It's too expensive. This is a $5 tank, and you have some blue zebra like Elongatus in there, some OB peacocks.
Yeah, you can still get some beautiful mixed bag ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you were going to color feed and do that long term, because then you
there's
know
some really good
gonna be
foods
brown.
too. Like there's some really good foods without the hormones that you can use. So.
Yeah. Is that a predatory hap?
So yeah, that's the predatory hap or the eye biter.
Yeah.
Cresicebs. And they've OB'd them as well. So there you go.
They've OB'd everything.
They've OB'd everything.
If you like that blotchy pattern, then you can get pretty much every type in it.
There would be an OB male of the eye biter. They are predators, so you don't want to mix them with, say, like smaller Mbunas, because they will eat the smaller Mbunas. Here we got more dragonbloods.
Just a little
Again,
bit
too,
smaller.
the hybrid types, but I guess they have a place in the hobby for it. So if you're a diehard African cichlid enthusiast, I guess you wouldn't want to keep them. But if you're just someone who just wants the colors and the attitude, then yeah. And then there's the ACI, which is another.
Oh, I love ACI.
Calmer Mbuna.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah, I
two
love
males
them.
they're chasing. I mean, that's as aggressive as they would get back there, just chasing each other around like
They
that.
are so friendly. My one's really tame too. It loves to come up and let me touch it.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, they're great fish.
hand fed. And they come in different colors with their tails too. Like I've got a white tail one.
Yeah, so we got the white tails that are coming in sometime this week. And then, yeah. So
Oh yeah, you've got a bunch more in this tank.
Yeah.
Just here too.
more ACI. So these are more juveniles. This size you can already tell males and females. The males have their egg spot. Giant Demasoni or the Metroclean dolphin, which gets big. It's like 7 inches.
So they're like the other ones, but bigger.
Yeah. So they look like the what's called their like the Mansoni. The males get really intense black and blue. Another albino. This is the albino form of the Pseudotrophus sokolofi or the powder blue cichlid. Very popular fish.
Very red eye.
Calmer too because they're albinos. And then we have Cynotilapia afra called lion's cove, which are gorgeous. Haven't seen them in a while.
They've got a big red empress.
Yes. So whenever you see a giant fish here, they're usually a trade-in. There's a bigger form of the sokolopa that you saw out there, the snow white. Okay, so here's interesting. So here's the original OBs. So this is a zebra. It's a Fansbury, or a Metroclumia Fansbury. And the male is the striped one, and the females are the orange blotch.
Right, and so that was the fish that was native to the lake that they used to create all the other OBs.
And then the red zebras too come in orange blotches. Most of the zebras come in orange blotch, and then they just transfer that gene over and do some lab stuff, some crazy stuff.
Right, and I think that's it for Malawi cichlids, and then we've got Tanganyikans as well.
Tanganyikans, and you can't find them much anywhere. So we're like the only store that still has Tanganyikans, other than just daffodils or like lalupai. So
yeah, we're the same in Australia. They're just not as popular.
This is a Neolamprologus buscheri.
I've never seen that.
So it's in the Neolamprologus group, which has the common, like the burchardi and the daffodils. These are the Moba Frontosas. These are the juveniles from the ones in the front. So this is the black widow. So this is a cultivated variety in captivity. They won't look like this in the wild. So usually you wouldn't breed that out, but then you kind of like hone in on that, and then you create a new variety. So you got the Tropheus firecrackers.
I've got some of these guys.
Beautiful fish, just very specialty fish. They do not like too much protein or like animal protein. So you got to feed them more like vegetable matter, veggie flakes, veggie pellets.
Yeah, they're like little cows. Like they just munch all day.
You gotta feed them all day. Constant movement, constant burning calories. So constant chasing each other around. It's more of a specialty fish.
And for anyone who's wondering, so these are Tanganyikan cichlids because they're from Lake Tanganyika, whereas the other ones are from a separate lake. They're from Lake Malawi. And then there is one more lake called Lake Victoria, but they are not as common in stores.
They're not as common. There's a few that we usually get, like the species 44s and stuff like that, but we don't have any in right now.
These guys are cute. I don't know if I've seen them.
Beautiful, yeah. These are Tamarochromys vittatus. So they can breed in shells or they can breed in caves. And they kind of pair bond as well. So, and the cool thing with Tanganyikans, as you can see already from just a few species that we saw or that we're seeing so far, they have so many different like body shapes versus the Malawis. There's like the three body shapes: haps, peacocks, and the Mabunas. Here you see ones that look like gobies, ones that look like groupers.
That's such
so
a
many body
perfect
shapes.
description. Yeah, all their shapes are so different.
These are the burchardis. They almost look like saltwater, like Anthias, with the lyre tails. And these ones are very cool, very common fish. But if you want a fish that's easy to breed and that raises like a colony, this is a perfect fish. Sand dwellers. Sand
dweller.
So these guys are in the beach area. That's the cool thing about these lakes, is that you have fish that adapted to different areas.
How cool. I like these little ones too. They have a cute little face. These little ones.
Yeah, so there's the brown Julie or the Dickfeldy, Calvis.
Oh, I love the black Calvis. They're very slow growing too.
Yes.
Very
Most
slow.
of the Tanganyikans are, but especially those ones. Like, that's why they're so expensive.
And then I'm thinking, since we've already done so much, that we'll probably just focus on the African cichlids. But since you guys have so many other fish, is there any kind of rare fish that you have in store right now? Because you have South American and...
Lots of South Americans, yeah. We can do a quick walk around here. The Hemicromus elongatus, which is it's said to be one of the most aggressive fish in the world. Silver dollars for the South American section.
They're related to piranhas, hey?
Yes. It's like vegetarian piranhas. Yeah. Red spotted severums.
Red spotted severums. They're beautiful. I used to have one of them. It's called Peach.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, they're gorgeous fish.
I got it because it reminded me of a discus at the time.
Yeah. They're like a poor man's like discus. If you can't take out a discus, you get a severum.
A good way of putting it.
Go have some geels, so lots of geels.
Do I see an arowana?
Yes, here's where our little monster fish section, I guess you can call it. Arowanas and the bichers, yeah. So the thing is with this market, it's like we have the cichlid market. We do a lot of planet tanks and like it's called like biotopes too. There's a few stores here that have like big arowanas and like more monster fish, right? So everyone has their niche here, which is great. This is the Hillstream tank. We try to do like little biotopes in there.
There's just so much cool stuff. Just everywhere you look. Going to the glowfish, I think.
Yes.
We got distracted. those tetras are cool too.
Place in the hobby for them. It gets a lot of like newcomers in.
And at the end of the day, it's not so different to what they do with the OBs, right? Like
Exactly.
they're just, you know, splicing DNA.
And you know what? Like I know a lot of people, you know, they don't like it. There's a giant coolie loach here actually.
It's like it's bigger than my pinky.
But I mean, they have a good life. Like they're not deformed. You know, they're fine. Like I'm not a big fan of the balloon fish because you know they look like they can't swim properly.
I have balloon mollies.
Yeah. Like my big thing is guppies. I breed lots of show guppies. And I notice the ones with the big like delta tails that can't swim. I feel bad for them. It's like so now I'm enjoying more the ones with the smaller tails now because they look like they have a better life. And here's our quick rainbow fish section. But since you're from Australia,
oh yeah, we kind of missed the rainbow fish, didn't we? Yeah. Well, we don't have the Bosmani ones.
They're all caught. We don't know what they are. Maybe you know. Since these is from your territory, maybe you know what these are.
Oh no, under pressure now.
They look like millennials, I thought. I don't know, but
I've definitely seen them at Tech Den in Australia.
Okay.
All right. Now that we're finishing up, let's go out the front so you guys can have a little bit of a look of what it looks like out here. That was pretty long filming.
Over an hour.
At least it's cooler today.
Oh, that is nice.
Just in case of the wind, let's do 2 outros. Do an outro.
Okay.
An outro inside, just in case.
Sweet, sounds good. Well, as you can see out the front too, they've got all of the beautiful African cichlids along the wall here, and you can see Finatics Aquarium. So you can visit www.fanaticsaqurium.com, and we are in Toronto in Canada, and it is called Mississauga.
Mississauga, but it's still Toronto.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, no problem.
That was amazing being able to have a look through all of the African cichlids, and we got a little bit of extra. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time outside of your work hours as well to help us. That was amazing, and I'm sure that the viewers will really appreciate it. So make sure you give the video a like if you enjoyed it and you like seeing all of the awesome fish here at Finatics Aquariums. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content like this as well, because we're going to be going to many more places around Canada and the US too. All right, that's it for this one, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.